Now, you might laugh, but it kind of reminds me of this party I was at once. It was a nice party. I pull into the drive and there's just a fleet of supercars. We're talking Ferraris, Lambos.
Nice. Get me. One day.
And this powder blue Bentley, which stood out to me because it was powder blue and because the owner was getting out of it. Some 6-foot chiseled slab of a man with his beautiful partner. I'm like, right, I'm gonna need a good backstory here.
Okay. I invented Post-its.
Fast forward to later in the night and I get chatting to the guy with the Bentley. It's that 2 a.m. kitchen chat kind of vibe, so it gets a little bit heavy. And the guy starts talking to me about the fact that he feels insecure at this party. I always feel like I'm the poorest millionaire in the room. I mean,
Fam, that ain't such a bad problem to have, you know. I'd rather feel like the poorest millionaire in the room than a rich man amongst broke people. What the fuck am I going to learn from people who are so far down the totem pole? Like, imagine, yeah, I go to a social function or just go to a friend's house and that, and I'm surrounded by people who are broke and struggling, talking about cost of living and shit like that, how it's affecting them and that. What am I going to learn from this situation here? I'd rather be around millionaires and be the brokest guy out of them. So at least then there's something to learn from. I can learn a lot from these guys. I cannot learn nothing from someone who is dirt poor, struggling with the cost of living, talking about they don't know if they should heat or eat. Yeah, that ain't such a bad person to bad problem to have, to be the poorest person in the room. Because it's all relative, it's all scale. Just because you're the poorest person in the room, that doesn't mean you're poor. And just because you're the richest person in the room, that don't mean you're rich and wealthy. Yeah, it's all about relativity and that.
Clearly he's intimidated by my bulletproof post-it note backstory. I remain composed, but internally, that sentence rocked my world. This guy was honestly close to tears. But I can kind of understand now why he was upset. Why do people on 100k a year say that their earnings are average? Because they're probably surrounded by people earning 5 to 10 times that. I found this paper called Is More Always Better? A Survey on Positional Concerns. Someone whose close associates all earn 50k a year is likely to feel actively dissatisfied with their material standard of living if their own salary is only 40k. Yet the same person would likely be content if his close associates earn not 50k but 30k a year. If you want to feel better about how much you earn, get some poorer mates. We measure our own success based on those around us. In the past, when our social circles didn't extend beyond our local...
But I'm not hanging around with no broke people to make myself fucking feel rich, blood. I want to hang around with people what I can learn from them, like I just said, yeah?
town, that was fine. You could be a baller in your own world, blissfully unaware of the bigger fish down the road. But now the internet exposes us to the success of everyone, everywhere, all the time. The most successful anomalies are there for us all to see. And the fact is, from a global perspective, you're probably one of the highest earning people on the planet. Most of us will easily spend more on a coffee than a lot of people earn in a day. If we bring this back to the mountain, I'm gonna keep bringing it back to the mountain. This is you, way up there on the mountain, while most of the world just look up at you. But then we zoom out and we see this guy. And now you look bang average, don't you? Comparing our earnings to the 0.01% of the 1% is like comparing your Johnson to the guys on P-Hub. It's only gonna make you feel small. And like they say, it ain't the size of the boat, it's the motion in the ocean. It's not what you've got, it's what you do with it. Which brings us nicely onto our next section. How much do I keep? Maybe it's the rise in the FIRE movement that makes us all feel like if we're not saving 80% of our income on a monthly basis, we're somehow a joke.
What a sad little life.
But what is the reality of it? How much are people in the UK actually tucking away of their income on a monthly basis? The answer is not very much. 15% of
Surprise, surprise.
people in the UK have no savings at all, while 1 in 3 people have
Of course they have no savings. Most people live above their means. By default, you're not going to have no savings. By default, you're going to be going into debt.
less than 1,500.
There's certain people out here, they earn 40, 50 grand a year and they live like they earn 60 grand a year. That fucking stupid advert I keep seeing on YouTube. You know, like before you go and watch a video, they will come up with some stupid adverts. This thing called, was it Temu or something like Temu or something like that. I'm shopping like a millionaire, and I think that's why I'm watching it, because obviously a lot of the time, because I don't pay for YouTube, so yeah, I'm too much of a cheap ass for that. I'm not getting no YouTube premium account. I keep seeing that advert, that Temu advert, and the theme song is I'm shopping like a millionaire or billionaire or whatever, and I think to myself, see, this is the reason why people are poor. You got people who have no money, virtually no money, they're living paycheck to paycheck, but because they can use some sort of app that grants them credit or whatever, it makes them feel like they're rich. I'm shopping like a billionaire. I'm shopping like a millionaire. That's putting people in a mind frame of, you know what? Even if I don't really have it like that, I can still obtain it. Nah, man, you gotta work for your things, man.